Hello, I'm Joe Wren, and welcome to this week's Indiana News Desk. Mothers who can't produce milk, maybe they've adopted or had a breast reduction, sometimes turn to the internet to find a donor who is willing to give or sell her own breast milk. A study released this week showed the practice was unsafe because the milk was often contaminated and contained levels of bacteria high enough to make babies sick. Folks in the medical community say there's no safe way to share milk, even if it comes from a close friend or relative. But as Sarah Whitmire reports, it's something mothers in Indiana are willing to try because of the health benefits breast milk provides.
Karen Koeckelmeyer was intent on breastfeeding her daughter for at least a year, but she ran into one problem after another after another.
We struggled through the first 7 months of her life of trying to feed, bad latch, pain, bleeding for 7 months.
So Koeckelmeyer posted on a milk-sharing website and got connected to Amber Niebrugge.
She had posted looking for a Bloomington mom, and I said, I'm in Martinsville, I'm willing to drive Indy, Bloomington, however far I need to get it.
Once I started donating, it really felt good, and now I just do it, and it's so easy to just oh yeah, absolutely, take this milk. And then everything comes out here. Everything's got dates.
Niebrugge has provided milk to 7 families, and in some cases, mothers drive for hours to get what is commonly referred to as liquid gold. She doesn't charge anything. She just asks mothers to bring her storage bags.
That's all I ask for. It's 50 bags for $8 for me, and I feel like that's a really fair trade. And I'm getting to help a lot of people.
The benefits of breast milk are well documented. Immunity against disease, food allergies, and skin conditions. Breastfeeding might make your baby smarter, lower her risk of SIDS, and protect her from obesity. But faced with 2 options, milk from someone other than the mother or formula,
informal breast milk sharing puts a baby at a medical risk. There's bacteria in that breast milk. HIV and tuberculosis can be transmitted to the baby through the breast milk, along with illegal drugs, prescription medicines. So there's really no safe way to screen that milk to know whether the baby is getting safe milk or not.
Or if the baby is even getting breast milk. It could be cow's milk. A study published this week in the journal Pediatrics found breast milk sold online is often contaminated because of problems with the way the milk is collected, stored, or shipped. In many of the cases, bacteria in the milk is high enough to make babies sick.
Human milk for a larger population should be handled through a milk bank.
Milk banks like this one screen potential donors, evaluate the women for medical risk factors, and give them a blood test. Then the bank pasteurizes the milk and sends it off to an independent lab for testing before providing it to babies. Nearly 3/4 of the samples taken for the pediatric study would have failed the standards established at milk banks. But the available supply is very limited.
We really operate on a medical needs basis. So if a baby is sick, if a baby cannot tolerate formula, if a mom is not making their own milk and a baby can't tolerate formula, those are scenarios where we would be providing milk to a child.
Koeckelmeyer says before she ever posted an online ad looking for milk, she did reach out to a milk bank, but simply couldn't afford it. At the time, her daughter Paige was drinking about 24 ounces a day, and at $7 an ounce, it would have cost more than $5,000 a month just for her milk.
She's over a year now, breast milk the whole way, and I would never have been able to do it without the donor milk.
Koeckelmeyer says there are a couple of things that separate her situation from the cases highlighted in the study. She doesn't pay for milk, and the big one, she was able to build a relationship with Niebrugge, the donor mother.
I was able to come here, I was able to meet her baby, see that her baby is healthy. I would have been able to smell cigarette smoke. You can smell if there's a lot of alcohol.
I'm kind of glad this article came out because I feel like it's going to shed light on it. And at first I was really, I was pretty heartbroken about it because it's like I work really hard and a lot of people don't understand what goes into it. I mean, I get up in the middle of the night, even after my son's eaten, and I have to pump. And I pump while I'm at work, and I pump when I come home from work, and I'm doing all this pumping, and it's not for my son.
Bloomington Area Birth Services lactation consultant Anne Marie Neely joins us for more. That last point is a major one. I know some of the folks in the breastfeeding community say that that study in pediatrics is flawed. Why is that, and what do you think?
I think it's actually not flawed. There are limitations to it, but the study was actually well done. The problem is that you can't generalize that study and compare it to milk sharing that usually happens when you're not actually purchasing the milk from the internet.
And during that story, you were kind of, you were making a lot of noises. It seemed like you were disagreed with some of that. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I think that when mothers communicate with each other, that you can elevate the safety and the cleanliness of the collection of the milk. And the way that the study was done, the people who obtained the samples from the internet, first of all, they purchased the milk, so it wasn't freely donated or freely given. So that changes the incentive for the person who's providing the milk to be a monetary incentive. When milk sharing between mothers is done, usually it's a mother who knows the other mother, they know each other, they're in the same community, and they're friends and they care about each other, so there's more open communication. And the other thing, the limitation with the collection of those samples is that they were all done anonymously and sent to a P.O. box, and some of them weren't refrigerated, and nobody knows how clean anything was when they were collecting it.
Are there other studies that parents, mothers should be aware of?
In relation to
the safety of
safety?
Yeah.
Well, so they compared, the samples that they compared were the ones that were collected anonymously from people selling it on the internet, and they compared that to milk that was collected by screened milk donors for a milk bank that was not pasteurized. And the milk bank collection milk was much cleaner and had less bacterial and viral loads. And those women who collected that milk were informed and educated about how to collect it cleanly and safely.
So when it comes down to it, do mothers just not have enough options for safe milk?
I think that the best way for a mom to be able to have enough milk to provide for her baby is to get good lactation support. Most women can make enough milk for their babies. And if they're given good support, then they'll be able to do that.
Are we putting too much pressure maybe on mothers, that saying that under no circumstances should you do formula?
No, I don't think so. I think that most mothers want to breastfeed. Currently in the United States, 77% of babies are breastfed at birth, so at least breastfed one time. So that says to me that 77% of moms across the United States want to breastfeed, and then those numbers plummet. They are not getting good support to be able to reach their breastfeeding goals.
We're down to just a few more seconds with
Okay.
you, but if you had one more piece of advice to kind of end this on, what would be the #1 thing you'd say to mothers or parents out there watching?
I would say that if you have a baby that's premature or has an immune system that's compromised, that you should only get milk from a mother's milk bank that's pasteurized, and that way it's going to be the safest.
Okay, well, thank you very much for
Okay.
being here and adding to this story.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.